Steps here. All right, now it's official. Welcome again to our First Fridays Wellness Cafe with myself and with Lauren. We are really excited to be able to bring it back, and appreciate the feedback you guys gave us about what worked, what did it. So we did extend the time, so it is full 30 minutes this time around. And we also put together some slides to help guide the conversation and the parts that we want to serve. So we'll start with an education piece and then a question and answer at the end. Look at my wing here. There we go. Last month after the session, we did share the recording. We plan to do that again. And also we wrote up a blog summarizing our talking points and answering more of the questions that came in during the session before or after that we weren't able to address. So our goal is to do that again this time. And yeah, again, thank you so much for coming in. We hope that we can be of service to you guys. As you know, everyone wants to find more ways to take care of themselves and learn and grow. Oh, did I do the wrong person? Hold on. Make co-host. Do you want to make Lauren? Did I do
There we
that?
go. Yeah.
Okay. A lot happened with the kids like 2 minutes before, and they just were shoved out to the house. So sorry, I'm a little frazzled. Oh man. Okay, so welcome. So today we have some topics of balancing your plate, snacking, and mindful eating. So I'm just gonna, there we go. Let me go through here and just minimize this. And so I'm gonna go first with my section, and then Lauren will go. And then again, we will take some questions at the end. We will have a hard stop though after 30 past, and then anything that we don't cover, we can go cover a little bit more in the blog that we write up, or move that topic to next month. So for me, I think, oh, I forgot the plate. I'll get it. The important thing is just in general, really shifting your mindset to food is fuel. It's the way your body runs is by what you put in your body. So there's that saying, garbage in, garbage out. If you're eating potato chips and fried chicken and mashed potatoes and gravy every day, and you're doing your workouts and you feel terrible, it's time to maybe reconsider the choices you're making for what you would eat. You wouldn't put terrible gas in your car. You know, there's so many things that you would take really good care of, but sometimes when it comes to our bodies, we don't think of it, and you're like, oh, I'm just hungry, or oh, I'm just sad, I'm going to eat a pint of ice cream. And I'm not saying you should never do that. I am pro ice cream, but just thinking about every time you sit down and have some food, really viewing that food as fuel, and that's what's going to get you going over the next 24 hours, 36 hours, is what you're putting into your body. There's 3 macronutrients that our bodies need every day to properly function. So I broke it down here: protein, carbohydrates, and fat. So the protein, we get a lot of questions about the protein, and that's such a hot topic. I think there's such an emphasis on protein with different diet plans, and people think, oh, if I eat a ton of protein and nothing else, I'm going to lose weight because I'm not having fat. And so it's kind of a hot topic, but just think about proteins as the building blocks of your body. It's how 50% of the cells in your body are made of protein. Is what keeps you strong, but a lot of times people are overcompensating and eating too much protein because they think that that is the right course of action. I know Lauren has more on her slides on protein, but think about protein as the building blocks. Carbs are the top source of energy for your body. The veggies are the best source. So when someone's like, oh, I'm going low carb, and what they really mean is, I'm not going to eat pasta and bread, but so many of all the vegetables are carbs too. So what are you going to do? Not eat vegetables and bread too because you're on a low carb diet? So you just need to really think about what is best for your body, and everybody's different. We have bio individuality. So one person may function better with a different ratio between protein and carbs and fats, but in general, you need these to function optimally for your body. And then the last one is fats. And so that fat is storage for energy in your body. And that there's, I mean, literally they write books about all the things that these 3 macronutrients do, but just think of it as storage. Think it's good for your hair, your skin, your nerves, insulates your inner organs to help protect you from injury. And so that's the 3 main macronutrients that your body needs each and every day. Here, I always love this saying. I drove by a place in Newburyport, and I snapped a picture at one point. I have to find it, but you are what you eat, and what you eat eats. So you want to think about that when you're getting hamburgers from somewhere. Like, what were the conditions of the cow that ate that hamburger? Did you ever drive by a feedlot? I'm not saying that never to not have that, but just like think about how that thing was raised, or some certain vegetables. Is your corn coming from some huge, ginormous place that has a bunch of pesticides on it? And like, just think about it. And again, you can't always make everything perfect, but sometimes you can steer yourself in a slightly healthier pattern if you think about, okay, well, where did this come from? What's in this? I'm very big on reading labels. I do the nutrition 1 week kitchen cleanups, and it's really focused on really understanding what goes in your body. So knowing the labels in the back of anything that has a box or a label in your house. You shouldn't eat it until you've looked at that ingredients list and understand what every single item on that ingredient list is, because there's so many fillers and unnatural things in that really can make an impact on your body. Now, some people can go their whole life and eat terribly and be fine and never have any GI issues or any issues with what they eat. Or other people like me, unfortunately, end up with a disease. I have ulcerative colitis, and so my system is hypersensitive to what I eat, and that is what led me to becoming a nutrition coach and getting involved more in personal training and physical fitness, because personally, I need to really watch what I eat. And if I slip too much, I suffer. And there's a lot of people out there that have suffer with stomach issues or all sorts of things. And a lot of it can be stopped if you do just a little more evaluation and homework about what you're eating. One more tip is to shop the perimeter of the grocery store. So go around, that's where all the healthy stuff usually is. And then slowly go into the areas that you need some food. Keep your fridge organized, stuff you access a lot towards the front, things you don't need as much towards the back. And then, really make use of the drawers, the produce drawers, the shelving. Make sure you're constantly checking expiration date and things, and just keeping it all fresh, convenient for you, and organized. I think an organized, clean kitchen. I mean, my floors are very dirty, don't get me wrong, but the things in my kitchen, it's well organized, and I know what's what. I know where it came from. I joked with Lauren the other day. It's like, unless I know the name of the farmer who had it, like I spend a lot of money on my groceries because I'm into more organic, natural foods. Like every box that I buy, it's like Jim and Sharon met in 1972, and they had a dream to open a farm. And I'm not saying that's for everybody, but just be mindful about what you are eating. How about me? I think I have one more slide. Okay, so then here's my last slide. Considering your ideal plate. And again, this is just a general recommendation from the government, but it's a good visual. And so I put it in here. And again, everybody's body is going to be different. When you work directly with a nutrition coach or a dietitian, they can help you find your own personal balance that works better. But I love this visual here because the plate's straight down in half. Protein is a lot smaller than vegetables. Like people really overdo it on the protein portion. So I just kind of like to see this out. And then here's the breakdown of the other. So a little bit of dairy. We've got the protein, the grains, and the grains can be whole grains. It doesn't mean everybody should have pasta every day. Like grains encompasses a lot of different things. The biggest part of your plate should include the vegetables, and then also have some fruits. And again, it's not 100% perfect every day, all day, but if you're not seeing colors on your plate and a different variety of things on your plate, you might want to start branching out, but start slow. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, but I like this visual. And this website's actually pretty decent if you've never gone to it and you just want to poke around. They do a pretty good job with breaking things down simply, which is good. It's not overwhelming, and it's meant to be for mass consumption, the information they have. So I would recommend checking out myplate.gov. And that is my section. It's pretty short. We're trying to keep ourselves short so there's more time for you guys to ask any questions and have a conversation. So Lauren, can you already change the slides since you're co-host?
I don't know. No, is that all you're doing is clicking on it?
Yeah.
No.
All right. I can be your clicker. Are you ready?
Yes, I'll just say click.
All right. You ready for
You
me
can
to
handle
click?
it. Click, go for it. Yes.
Teamwork. There we go.
We can do this, guys. We can do hard things. Okay. Hello, everybody. A lot of you were here last month and it was super fun and it went by way too fast. So thank you for returning. And now we have 15 extra minutes, which I can already tell is going to go by really fast. So what I'm planning to do is just get as far as I can, but I don't want to overwhelm with information. So if we can't reach all of the slides this time, we can always get it for next month because the biggest vote was for the protein. So I want to make sure we hit all of that. And then I did start to tie in some of the mindful eating into what we're talking about. But if we need to delay that one, we can. Because if you have questions, please feel free to unmute or chat because I would definitely want to answer your questions. And Marie and I love this stuff so much that we could just talk about it forever. And at some point we have to just be concise and talk about one thing at a time. So, okay. So the second topic was about snacking. And so Maria hit a lot of the information on protein. So I'm going to pull that into some of the snacking. I get a lot of questions about this. Should I have snacks? When should I eat my snacks? What should my snacks be? And I don't want anyone to stress so much about their food, because that causes its own set of problems. So what I really recommend is around snacking is what's the purpose? Why do you think you need to have a snack? So maybe it's tying you over between meals. Maybe you go really long periods of time and you need something. I know that's me for sure. I probably eat like 5 or 6 times a day. That's for myself. Maybe it's lack of time. You don't have time for a full meal for whatever reason. And so you pack up a lot of snacks and you kind of use those instead. Another really great reason for snacking is to help prevent overeating later. That is why I really encourage snacks. If you know you're going to go a really long period of time without eating, or you have a crazy day, pack yourself snacks so that when it does come time to eat, you're not eating so much. I know we've all been there, right? You get so hungry that you grab whatever's in sight. We've got Cheez-Its, we've got chips, it does not matter. And it's usually not the healthiest. No one wants to just munch on a billion carrots. Like that doesn't sound that good. I don't. And so you start going, ooh, tortilla chips, salsa, guac. And while that's fine, it can feel a little bit out of control and you may not feel great at the end. So plan ahead a little bit and have some snacks available so that when you approach a meal, you just feel a little bit more in control of what you want to eat and how much you want to eat. They can also fill in nutritional gaps. So not every meal is going to look like that perfect plate. I know mine don't, and that's just life. So you're like, hey, maybe a good snack would be an apple and peanut butter or hummus and carrots, because I didn't have a lot of that today. And so maybe I'll try to throw it in my snacks. Maria already talked about this, but with snacks, I don't say they need to be one way or the other, but I do think a balanced snack is the most beneficial because you'll feel more satisfied. So carbs for energy. I am pro carbohydrates, guys. I love carbs. They give you energy. Your body runs on carbs. So please, please, please don't be scared of carbs. And then protein and fat, those are what are satiating. They fill us up. If we just eat crackers all day, like it's not as super satisfying. So I do say, try to pair those up. And we'll go over some snack ideas next. And then how do you know what to choose? Well, how hungry are you? Like what's actually going to satisfy you? What sounds good? So that's something I'll go over, but really being mindful of like what sounds good and what's going to satisfy me right now. Like an apple might be good, but it's not going to fulfill you if you want like a crunchy, salty snack. So you have to find that marriage between satisfying, and just what sounds good. So those are some questions you can ask yourself. Am I hungry right now? Am I eating out of hunger? Do I need something else? Am I just feeling emotional? Am I stressed? And that could be a whole other topic. So that's just going to be a little bit brief today. What's going to actually satisfy that craving? And then, like I said, do I need something else that is not food? Sometimes we might be stressed. We might be trying to put off a project. We might be sad. We might be bored. And so we turn to food. When really that's not always the answer. But for today's purpose, that's just going to be kind of brief. And then we can always talk about that more at our next session. All right, next slide. All right, so here's just some ideas. Especially you guys, we all like to work out. That's what brought us all together is VFit. So we work hard, we work out together, and the only way you can replenish is to eat. I can't say that enough. You can't run on empty. Your car cannot run on empty. And so we burn carbs. That's what we're burning. And so a lot of these ideas have carbohydrates as part of them. Easy. And let's do easy, because I know not a lot of us have a ton of time to just prep snacks and food all day long. So instant oatmeal packets, homemade muffins if you enjoy baking, the no-bake energy bites, really simple, like peanut butter, oats, chocolate chips, a little honey, like easy, keep them in your fridge. You can make your own trail mix, do hard-boiled eggs. Cheese sticks are like one of my ultimate favorite snacks ever. Throw some crackers with it, make a small half sandwich. If you want something crunchy, we've got popcorn, crackers, hummus. Stock up on some sort of protein bar. Like Maria said, I promote more like Whole Foods bars where you know the ingredients, but that's not always possible. And I'm very mindful of that. Like we have chocolate chip bars from Costco in our pantry, and I honestly don't have a sensitive stomach like Maria. So her and I, we just have different takes on some of that. My family, I'm a little bit more liberal with the things that they eat. But anytime you can go Whole Foods, I say do it, but please don't stress. You have to start somewhere. And I don't want you to start with stressing about every ingredient if you're just learning to eat snacks regularly or eating throughout the day. So you can always work on some of this later on. Fruit's a great option. But it's not always super filling, but it's a good way to get fruit in. And then we had a question about protein shakes. So I think this can be a good option if you have a good protein powder that has like minimal weird ingredients in it. Mix it with like some almond milk and some fruit. But again, most of us get enough protein in our diet where we don't probably need it, unless maybe you're vegetarian or you're really lacking on time, and that's a really easy like breakfast or lunch, then that could be a good supplement. So I'm not anti-protein shake, but again, that whole idea that we need all this protein is not really the truth. And so, maybe just kind of assessing how much do you get in your day, and if you're lacking, it's a good way, or if you're short on time. All right, next up, where are we at? How are we doing? 10:07. Okay, I'll try to wrap this up in the next few minutes. We can have Q&A. Okay, really quick, pre-fueling your body before you exercise. So we already talked about that. I like to eat something before I exercise in the morning. I noticed that the energy is much higher. Now, if you're taking a 5:30 class and you're not hungry and you're just going to take one class, you're probably fine. But if you're going to take multiple classes, 2-3 classes, and it's even later in the day, I recommend having something small. It could be a banana. It can be a piece of toast. It doesn't have to be a giant breakfast, typically lower fat, lower fiber, so it doesn't mess with your GI system. I don't know if anyone's ever been there, but it's not comfortable. So just higher carbs, something to give you some energy, and then it's going to help prevent your low blood sugar, kind of settle your stomach, fuel your brain and your muscles. And I promise you'll be able to get through that workout harder. You will have more energy to put forward. So if this is the first time that you might be trying that, maybe you start small, because you have to trial what works for one person might not work for someone else, but maybe take a few bites of a banana and see how it works. You can always work up. And I do, most of you know that I like to run, and I run marathons, and I'm still playing with this, but if you're doing really, really hard, intense exercise, you really have to play with the foods. Luckily at VFit, we're usually at home. And so if something happens, you can, it's not a big deal, but trial and error. Oh, good. That's when Christina likes the protein shakes. Perfect. Okay. Next up, Maria. And she does it before her morning workouts. It absorbs faster. I would agree. So a drink is a great option for that. It's not a heavy food like sitting in your stomach. So awesome. Thank you for sharing. And then what about post-exercise fueling? Refueling is also part of the training program. If your idea is, I just burned all these calories, I don't want to eat now. Well, you have to fuel those muscles. They're not going to grow. Your metabolism is going to go down. Like your body is ready to absorb that nutrition and help those muscles repair and grow. So they're primed, they're ready, you guys. So have some carbs, have some protein. So I put it here, a 3-to-1 ratio. I don't want you to have to figure out math when you're like, what does that mean? But just something with a little more carbs than protein. They're primed right after, but even up to 24 hours, it's just a little slower. So have something. We don't need to have a giant meal, but if you kind of back up your workouts to when you're going to eat, have something. Definitely chocolate milk is a great option because it's got that carbs and protein in it. Really simple. Refuel with water, and then you can have a bigger meal when you're ready. But a little something is important. Okay, Maria, up next. And please, if you have questions, share. Okay, I'm going to try to do this. Oh, yes. Okay, so someone mentioned that she's so hungry again right after. Yes, definitely. You know, our body, when we get hungry, that's our body's way of telling us it needs to eat. That is a good sign, you guys. You want to be hungry. Things are working. That means your body, like you're able to register that it needs fuel. So we don't want to ignore that. I'm probably not going to be able to go over all of this, but I'm just going to touch on mindful eating just really quick. And what does that mean? And so it really just means paying attention to what you're eating, responding to your body, and just trying to limit the distractions around you when you do eat. I know we are so busy. I was literally typing this up yesterday, eating a bagel over here and like drinking coffee and looking at my phone. And I was like, wow, like, what am I doing right now? I'm super distracted. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm going to enjoy this bagel. What does it taste like? It's kind of warm. It's kind of crunchy. I like the cream cheese. Like I just took a few bites and I paid attention to like what was enjoyable about it. And when we do that, we actually absorb, I'm not kidding you, we absorb more nutrition and more calories and vitamins and minerals from our food when we pay attention. And so not only does that help, but we can really gauge how much food we want to eat and what is satisfying. When we eat distracted, we end up eating more, we don't even notice, and we're actually not as satisfied. So even though you might have eaten more, it didn't register in your brain that satisfaction because you didn't pay attention to the food. So I encourage people, I know we don't all have time to sit down for 30 minutes, 3 times a day, but what about the first few bites or the middle few bites or the last few bites? How are you feeling? So right here, we addressed this kind of earlier about asking yourself what you really want to eat, trying to meet that need of what you want. Give yourself unconditional permission to eat. So no judgment. And I think that would be a really great topic for us to address at a different time, but letting go of that judgment, because it can really affect the way that we eat. And then just eating in a relaxing, enjoyable environment to make the experience as pleasurable as possible. And sitting down to eat, you guys, if I give you any other tips, sit down. I know a lot of us, we just kind of grab food, we do other things. And then at the end, we don't even know how much we ate or what we ate because we didn't feel like we sat and really, truly enjoyed that meal. Okay, Maria, let me see. I might have you click to the last slide because, okay, yeah, let's just go to the takeaways. So if we're still interested in this topic, we can address it more next time. But just the quick takeaways, all macronutrients are needed, and the macros mean protein, carbs, and fat. We need all of them. Snacking can be really helpful around exercise or just during your day for some of those things that we brought up. Trying to work on being a mindful eater versus a distracted eater, just paying attention to what we're doing, what that food is, what it tastes like, smells like, looks like, the temperature, the appearance. And just really respecting our body's needs by fueling it well and responding to its needs. I know we talk a lot about body acceptance and all that. And while that can be hard, we can at least start with body respect and fuel our body because that's what it needs to live and survive and to live our best life. And so the last 4, the 4 S's, I like these 4. So sit down, eat slowly, eat sensually, which just means bring in all the senses, and then savor every bite. And so I would love to chat about this more next time, but I will open it up to Q&A right now since we're at 10:14. Okay. So anyways, thank you guys so much. That was my section. We'll also record this and then send it to you after so that you can maybe read through the slides a little bit more if there was some more information that you wanted. Okay. Oh, good, Karina. I'm glad you liked it. Okay, some more examples of low fiber, high carb, pre-exercise fuel. You could do like cereal. You could do any, honestly, like fruit or simple, like simple carbohydrates that also doesn't have a ton of fiber. Honestly, I typically lean towards like toast or fruit has really worked the best for me. Maria, do you have any other good ideas off the top of your head?
For pre-exercise fuel,
Mm-hmm.
banana and a little bit of peanut butter, just like a little smidge.
Mm-hmm. Or Lindsay B, if you have anything off the top of your head, feel free to share. I know we got Lindsay B, or anyone else. If anyone else does this and they found something that works awesome, I love to hear other people's ideas. I am like so boring. I do the same thing every day, you guys, like half an English muffin. So, or like half a banana works really well. Okay, Lindsay M likes a Lara bar or dates. Lara bars are great because it's made up of like 3 ingredients. And so those are awesome.
Yes, that's great. So if you guys have any more questions, you can write them in the post I did today, talking about today's session. And maybe we'll take a couple of those and add that to the blog that we write up. But we really appreciate you guys coming in. This is something that we've been kind of thinking about. And then we were like, oh, we're just going to do it, see if anybody will come. It seems like you guys like this. And we really look forward to doing it. So we'll do it again next month. And then next week, we will have our blog write up and share the video. And so, yeah, if you have any other questions, let us know. That would be great. Yes, Lindsay says, long workout, peanut butter, apple,
yes.
and muffins. These are solid. So thank you so much. It was really half hour just happened, right?
Yeah, it happened. So, I mean, granted, we did get started a couple minutes later, so that's probably why it went by so fast.
Right. Yeah. Sorry for that. But all right, ladies. Well, any questions, hop into the member group. I just did the post like a couple hours ago, or you can email us and then we can include some of that on the blog that we write up. Otherwise, eat well, my friends, eat well.
Yes, exactly. And yes, if you need anything, feel free to message us even separately. We're more than happy to help out. Or if you need kind of help with this for like, if you're in the 100-day challenge, we can help you out with some of those goals around food and stuff as well. So.
Oh, Lauren, do you have any spaces for March open or not yet?
I do. I'll probably just take a few this month since it's a little bit busier, but probably 4 or 5 discovery calls for this month would work. Yes.
And then I will be running a nutrition group, a 1 week one the week before the reset that focuses a little more in depth on some of the talking points I had. So more to come, my friends. Enjoy the rest of your Friday.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining. Always so much fun to see you. Glad you guys enjoyed this. All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Bye.